honorable judges, respected bar members, Excellency Member State ambassadors, ambassadors from other countries and other UN organizations, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is an absolute honor and a pleasure to be here representing the European Union and to be a partner in this conference. And I would like also on our behalf to welcome everybody to the second edition of the Asma Jahangir Conference. As I look around this very impressive hall and the attendance of this hall, it is quite clear that the Asma Jahangir has left a powerful and lasting legacy in Pakistan. And not just only here, but also to the wider South Asia region, through her contributions to the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, the Women's Action Forum, the Supreme Court Bar Association of Pakistan, and many other initiatives. Let me just say that I personally have very much regret that I have not had the opportunity and the honor to meet her. I am, however, glad that I've met her very impressive daughters and other members of her family. Asma Jahangir was a recipient of several European awards for her unwavering work in speaking truth to power and promoting and defending the notion of justice for all. She was also a special rapporteur of the United Nations on freedom of religion. Let me say that in these troubled times, when human rights globally are under attack and there are many forces using toxic messages and toxic narratives to spread fear and division, those like her who dare to take stand against injustice and to defend human rights need not only to be defended, but also to be celebrated and remembered. This is what this conference is about. This is why we're supporting this conference. Two striking features of Asma Jahangir's struggle for justice was first, her commitment to advancing women's rights as human rights, and secondly, advancing rule of law and the independence of the judiciary. Advancing human rights and the rule of law are also two priority areas at the heart of both what the European Union is doing internally and in its foreign policy. On the first priority of advancing human rights, we welcome the decision to have a focused discussion on girls and women human rights at the conference. This discussion could not be more timely, as it heralds the series of milestone anniversaries on gender equality and girls and human rights issues, namely the 40th anniversary of the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the 25th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, and the 20th anniversary of the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security. Next year also, the 2030 agenda will turn 5 years old, which strengthens the de facto accountability for gender equality commitments at all levels. These were and are among the fundamental pillars inspiring and informing EU policies and actions in all we do. To underline the importance of gender equality in our relations with other countries, the EU and its member states has adopted a gender action plan. This has 3 pillars of action. The first is ensuring girls and women physical and psychological integrity. Secondly, promoting economic and social rights. And thirdly, strengthening girls' and women's voice and participation. In Pakistan, we use and apply those 3 pillars in what we do, and gender equality lies at the heart of EU development cooperation programs. I'll just give you a couple of examples. We work in our program, Promotion of Human Rights, closely with the Ministry of Human Rights and the independent commissions, both at federal and provisional level, to strengthen the institutional capacities to protect and promote human rights and to raise awareness. Our flagship program on women's economic empowerment in Sindh, which is a community-based economic strengthening support program, targets about 800,000 households and basically aims at poverty reduction. The beneficiaries are women, they are rural women, which are also empowered to, not only empowered economically, but are also making leadership roles in their communities. On the second priority of the conference relating to support of rule of law, let me say first of all that rule of law and equal access to justice for everybody is enshrined in the Treaty of the European Union, and it's one of the fundamental values of the European Union. As in the audience there is a large percentage of legal professionals, I would like to refer to Article 2 of the Treaty of the European Union, which states that, and I quote, "The EU is founded on the values of respect of human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, the rule of law, and respect for human rights, including rights of persons belonging to minorities." The rule of law and human rights is also one of the priorities of our cooperation and our development programs with Pakistan. We have defined priorities which include the increase of dialogue and cooperation between the rule of law actors, to promote digitalization and efficiency of service delivery, and to increase access to justice with a special focus on women. All of these issues are very closely linked with the theme of this conference. Before I conclude, I could not speak about human rights today without referring to the situation in Kashmir. The EU's position on Kashmir remains unchanged. And let me quote from the statement of Mrs. Federica Mogherini. She's the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. She said, and I quote, "We encourage India and Pakistan to seek a peaceful and political solution respectful of the interest of the Kashmiri population. The EU has also encouraged, and I quote again, the lifting of the remaining restrictions temporarily imposed and to maintain the rights and fundamental freedoms of the affected population." Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude by wishing everybody a very successful conference. Bahut bahut shukriya.